Hello and welcome to the Kenny T One-on-One podcast, brought to you by Yatu Tea, Abaleya Carpooling, and MTN everywhere you go. We have someone great as our guest today. But before we get into that, I'd like to say thank you very much to each and every one of you that voted for us, because guess what? We brought the award home. Broadcaster of the Year award at the awards that just took place very recently, Man of the Year awards. And also it was really an honor to share the stage with the Republican president, because he also was given an award at the award ceremony. So it was really, really big. Our guest today is Sampa the Great. Sampa, how are you?
I'm good.
I've seen your music. I've read about you. I've seen many videos. And I'm seeing you for the first time today in person.
Hello. She's real.
Welcome to Powerhouse Media. Welcome to the Kenny T One-on-One podcast.
Thank you.
Sampa the Great. How did you come up with your name? If we start from there.
I think when I was starting out, being an artist was so foreign to me and my family at the time. So in order to give myself a reminder, I put the great beside my name to just remind me to be the greatest version of myself. So I knew when people would call me Sampa the Great, it would be like, okay, remind you, be the greatest version of yourself.
So I've worked in media for many years. And the first time I heard about you was when a friend of mine from Canada asked me about you. It was very confusing. She's like, do you know about Sampa? And I'm like, no. She's like, how would you not know about her? And then I researched and I think it was a similar thing for a lot of Zambians. I think let's speak about your early life first so that we get to understand who Sampa is and where you came from. I understand that, you're raised both in Zambia and Botswana?
Yeah, between the two countries. So born in Zambia, Luansha Mine Hospital. At 1 year old, my dad got a job opportunity in Gaborone, so we went to Botswana, and we were kind of raised between two places. Yeah.
What kind of work did your father do?
Insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's an insurance broker. Mom does a lot of different things now, mostly to do with real estate. But yeah, when they started out, dad was an insurance broker, went to Botswana, and the whole family moved there, basically.
So both your parents, are they Zambians?
Yeah.
Okay. And are they still living here, or
No,
they're
they
still
live in Botswana.
Great.
Yeah.
So at that point, you attended, obviously, most of your education out in Botswana?
Primary school, Botswana. High school, Botswana.
And then you relocated to the US?
No, I went to uni.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so everyone still stays in Africa.
Okay.
I went to US for uni for 2 years. Finished it in Australia. When I was in Australia, I met a producer, Rodriguez, and we worked on a project together. That project came out in 2015. And when that project came out, it literally just blew up. So it was one of those things where you're in a place for a certain reason. I'm there for school. And then something happens and you're just like, let me take this opportunity to see where this can go. And that's the reason I stayed in Australia. But not Australian, wasn't raised in Australia, went there for school, music blew up, and stayed to see where the career could go.
Great. We'll speak about your music side very shortly, but let's speak about your parents a little bit. I understand that your dad was a DJ?
He
Your
used
mom
to
did some
DJ
dancing?
as a hobby. They regret me ever, mentioning that, because they're like, okay, I don't DJ anymore. But as a hobby, my dad used to DJ, my mom used to dance. So they are creatives in a sense. So you could say that's where it was passed down from.
So when you're growing up, maybe before you even went to uni, did you ever have, a dream of being an artist, an international artist?
Definitely. Me and my sister, my younger sister Mwanje, who you may know, loved performing. So watching TV, as young, kids do, seeing people on TV singing, dancing, and you're like, okay, I think I want to do that, but never saying it out loud. Yeah, it took a while till we could admit finally that we wanted to be artists. It was just never seen as a career.
So when you're growing up, like in terms of music, what kind of music did you listen to?
Everything. They'd play us everything. They'd play us, traditional Zambian music. We'd listen to the PK Chishala. We'll listen to even pop music. Mampi, my cousin, would play a lot. Exile would play a lot. We listened to South African music. Ringo would play in the house a lot. Oliver Mutukudi would play in the house a lot. And then my younger cousin would play a lot of hip hop. So Tupac would play in the house a lot, Missy. So it was just a house full of different music, and it was very eclectic. And I think as a kid, when you pick up on that, no one is telling you not to listen to anything.
Yeah.
So you're taking all of it in and you're being inspired and you create basically a well of music, because that's how I grew up.
So in terms of inspiration, was there a particular artist that you looked up to? Maybe local
Artists.
or international?
They were artists. Thandiswa Mazwai was definitely one I saw that was like, wow, look at this woman stepping on stage in her traditional way and being really powerful. Angelique Kidjo was also another one, which is wild because I actually got to meet her and be mentored by her. Yeah, a lot of the times it was sort of those sort of influences that I'd see. Yeah.
You started writing music when you're around the age of 9?
Yeah. Very young.
How?
So I'm a middle kid.
Uh-huh.
So I feel the general consensus with middle kids is attention is being spent on the youngest one because they're the newest in the world,
that's
and you
what
want to
happens.
make sure it's okay. And the oldest one because they're facing the world for the first time, and the parents want to make sure. So the middle kid is kind of just that middle point with, oh, are you okay? Have you eaten? And just, go about life. So I felt the only way to express myself was mostly by writing. So if I felt like, no one in the family was seeing what I was doing or I was not being seen, I just write in my book. And my mom actually is the one who encouraged me to write a lot of experiences down. And that went from poetry to writing lyrics to writing songs. And so that's how that came about at a young age.
So when you went to uni in Australia, we're going to Australia now.
Okay.
What did you go to study?
Sound engineering. Yeah, it was a middle ground between music, which I actually wanted to do but couldn't say out loud, and engineering, which I knew my parents would love the concept of engineering. It's like, oh yeah, engineering, yeah, you're doing something. So kind of chose something that balanced both what I wanted to actually do and what I knew my parents wanted me to do.
And how did that go?
It went, I graduated. I graduated, and I take a lot of what I learned, in my career. Obviously, initially, it was for my parents to be happy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm doing engineering for you. But it actually really helped my career and also connected me to people who basically fast-tracked my career with the projects we made.
So there's a gentleman you spoke about earlier. I forget the name that you met in Australia. How exactly did you guys link up? Did someone introduce you, or
No.
what was the story there?
So we went to they had what they call a jazz and hip hop freestyle night. So this is where you go to a venue weekly and there's a house band playing and they ask musicians to just jump on stage and basically freestyle. I wish we had a lot of those here because
It's something to think about, actually.
like that would be really beautiful, like a space for kids to just develop their live, performances. But that's where I went. I performed to an Australian crowd for the first time there, and the crowd responded positively. And I met a producer there, and his name was Godriguez, and he was like,
Rodriguez.
let's work on something together. And that's basically how the Great Mixtape was made.
So when you decided to work on something, what exactly did you work on?
A mixtape.
Right in the beginning, mixtape.
Yeah, it was a mixtape. So basically, he just send me beats. I'd rap on the beats. I think we had 8 or 9 songs on that project. At the time, I didn't admit to my parents I was doing anything outside of school. So when that project came out, I said it was an assignment. And then the assignment started being played on radio. So it was really hard now to fake the funk and just actually admit that I'm doing music on the side because it started to blow up.
So how long did you guys work together? Did you just do one project?
We did one project and an EP together. Yeah, we did a project and an EP together. Yeah.
So after this, the mixtape, I'm sure you started getting calls, right? Like, what was the first call that you got that made you think, okay,
This
something
may be
different, something
serious.
big is about to happen?
It was a series of calls. So the mixtape came out. we met a manager by the name of Sai, who manages a group named Hiatus Coyote, who's a big group in Australia. We did a support for them. So they did a show and we were their support act. And I think a few months after, we got a call about Kendrick. That's when things got serious, because it was like, oh, okay, you were considering me to do the support of this huge act that is global.
Yeah.
I'm getting this opportunity. I need to start taking this thing seriously.
Yeah.
So that was when things started getting serious and managers started calling, booking agents started calling, and yeah.
So now to get into it, you obviously needed a management team, you
Yeah.
needed people to work with and
Yeah.
all of that. How did you make a decision to settle on the people that you started working with at the time?
At the time. So that first manager was the one who gave me my first shot in that support. So that group Hiatus Coyote, their manager became my manager.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first management. And at the time it was perfect. It was like they were teaching me the ropes. That Kendrick support was because of their influence. So it was an easy decision to get them as a manager.
Great. In 2017, Heroes Act 2, you met Estelle.
I did.
How was that?
It was really beautiful. I
Yeah.
think she was the first, I'd have to check, but the first mentor, along the list of this before I met Lauryn Hill, this before I met any of them, I met Estelle.
Yeah.
And she just gave me so many pointers as a fellow woman in rap. Follow your dreams, make sure you are loud with your voice, make sure not to be swayed. She's an amazing person, and still till today she's an amazing person.
That mixtape that you did, we tried to look for it. We couldn't find it online.
The Great
Did you pull it?
Mixtape.
Did you pull it down?
Yes, I did. The Great Mixtape is sample heavy. So at the time, we never knew it was going to blow up. At the time, it was supposed to be this school project, this thing we're just working on. And we're like, okay, let's just release it. So it blew up and it had a lot of samples in it.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you know about samples, you have to clear them. Like in the global world, if you don't clear samples, you get sued. And so
I see.
at the time, we're just starting out, up and comers, releasing a project, not thinking anything of it, and the project blows up. So it's a really sample heavy project. So you have to go through the process of clearing, And I know I'm not the only rapper who's been. Joey Badass just re-released a project that was sample heavy as well. So it's just that it's sample heavy, nothing to do with the music itself. Yeah.
Yeah, we're wondering. Thanks for the clarification. Let's speak about Birds and the Bees 9.
Yup. Birds of the B9. It was.
Anything interesting, anything exciting to talk about?
I
In terms
mean,
of experience?
Birds in the Benign, I called it a mixtape, but you could consider it an album. Birds in the Benign was also the project that started getting me a lot of international attention. I don't know if it's Birds and the Benign or The Return, where the Smiths started commenting on my music. So
Yeah.
Will Smith, Jada Smith. And it
Because
was
Jada,
like,
Jada
okay.
tweeted about you.
Oh my! Not only did Jada tweet about me, when she cleared her Instagram, she only followed me. So I was like, this is really intense because you are a star.
Yeah.
So Birds in the Benign is where attention really started, pushing for me. Black Girl Magic, the music video came out of Birds in the Benign. Rhymes to the East, my first Colors performance came from Birds in the Benign. So it was really the one that started making the international mark. Yeah.
So at that point, which notable, big artists and celebrities did you meet? I'm sure it was very exciting. Probably used to it now, but
At the time, Birds in the Benign, that was a long time ago.
yeah, it's a long time.
I think that was around the time of the Kendrick support, if not a bit earlier. So Kendrick and Dave Free, his partner in crime. Yeah. Who else did we meet at that time? I feel like it was such a long time ago.
I know it is.
But that's when things internationally started bubbling. The Great Mixtape was Australia bubbling. BB9, the world started bubbling. By The Return, it was gone.
It was gone.
Yeah.
Can we talk about The Return then in 2019?
Yes.
It's a little closer.
Yeah.
You received some nominations?
Yes. I think Australian Music Prize twice. ARIA Awards, which is Australia's Grammys. Don't know if this is a BET situation as well. I kind of don't tend to too much on the awards thing, but I think that's where that was with the return.
So, Sampa, when all of these things were unfolding,
Yeah.
were you thinking about home and how you could? Because I think yours is a very unique story
Yeah.
of where you make it big internationally,
Yeah.
and sort of like start coming back home,
Yeah.
and you start getting the recognition at home.
Yeah. My professional career obviously started outside the country I was born and raised. So that was something. I think the return was mostly about coming back to the place where the music was, the inspiration for the music was, and be like, hey guys, I'm actually, Sampa the Great is born and raised here, and this music is from here. So return was really just about connecting the dots of those two. My career started outside of my country, and it was just about bringing that fame, that the stuff that I learned back to the place that inspired it, basically.
So when did you decide that, okay, let me now, while I'm doing this, let me visit home for a little bit, sort of like reintroduce myself or introduce myself again on the music scene, and then head back and
Right.
carry on doing international things?
I mean, I think the pandemic did a lot of relocating for people involuntarily.
Yeah.
I remember coming back in 2019, and a lot of the borders, the flights, I think we were in the red zone or whatever that was, and we couldn't get back to Australia. So a lot of it was working with musicians at home because we were here, but musicians we already knew and loved, like Mac 44, and just being introduced to my band through him. And then just, seeing how things are on ground, the musicians working here, their experiences, and that just turned into making music together, which then later turned into making an album.
So your band, all of them are from here?
Yep.
So Mark 44 introduced you to all of these guys.
Yep.
Then how did they learn your sound? Because obviously what you're doing back in Australia and here, it's a little different.
I mean, they learned songs from the return, which were made in Australia, pretty well. It was a lot of rehearsals. One thing about me and my band, we rehearse a lot. So I think it was a month of back-to-back rehearsals and getting all the music. It wasn't really hard for them. Regardless of if the music was made in Australia, there was still elements of instrumental sound, culture, language that are from here. So in Moana, it's on the return. My mom is in that song. We're singing in Bemba. There's still instrumental elements that were still from here that I was able to return in the project. So it wasn't really hard for them.
The other thing also is that, look, if you're a musician,
Yeah.
you know how to play the instrument. I think everything else just should flow.
They did it really naturally. They're amazing. I mean, the Elect Band, you guys know of them. They're amazing. Everyone has worked with them. They're literally the pinnacle. So I'm not surprised that they got the music down to a T. And then Sammy as well. We worked on the project as Above So Below together. So he knew the music that was coming from there. So yeah.
So you and Mark 44, how were you introduced?
I think we were introduced a while back. This is before 2019 via my cousin Stephen Mwape. And he was like, there's this musician who's just starting out. I think this was around the Great Mixtape. But I think Mag was doing whatever he was doing in his life around that time. So that kind of just waited there for a while. But in 2019, I was actually able to physically be here and meet up with Mag and just talk about the music that I'm inspired by. And we just ended up working together. We respected each other as musicians, and once we aligned with the story and the music I was trying to do, it was flawless.
You've got a song on the on the Ozark soundtrack.
Yes, energy.
I love that movie, and when I heard the song, I was like, wow. How did you pull it off?
Good publishers. I work with a publishing company called Cobalt, and they, really make sure my music is put in places, but also places that make sense for my music. So they're the ones who got me Oza.
In 2022, you're on Obama's summer playlist.
That was crazy.
All these are not things that happen to artists every day. You know what I mean?
That was pretty huge. At the time, he was the president of the United States, and just to get that stamp of approval that
Yeah.
your music is something that he listens to globally was pretty huge for
Did you
me.
get a chance to meet him at all?
No, but I did meet Michelle Obama.
Oh, Michelle. Okay. Where did you all meet?
Jimmy Fallon. So we did Jimmy Fallon, and we did it with Angelique Kidjo and the Roots, which was pretty amazing. My sister sang for that as well, and my MD Laz was there, and we met Michelle Obama with a Secret Service, and it was such a sweat-filled moment because the Secret Service were looking at us and
Yeah.
making sure, we're hugging her nicely, and I was like, okay, this is pretty intense, but she's amazing, and she was really encouraging. It was just a minute, but she was really amazing.
What's the first thing she said to you?
Oh, so you're Sampa. Yes. Yes, I am. And just like I heard of your music, it's really nice. Keep doing what you're doing. Would you love to take a picture? I would love to take a picture. And really just, she had a lot to do, but it was really nice.
Let's speak about your second studio album. This project, how many songs did you write?
As above, so below, is it?
Uh-huh.
What are we looking at? 12, 13? I'm in my new album phase right now.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Yeah.
remembering. I think it's around 12 or 13 songs.
Any highlights from the creation of
gosh.
this
So many.
studio album?
It just obviously being a Made in Zambia project, number one. Angelique Kidjo being on a song, which is insane. Working with Witch, insane. Denzel Curry, Joey Badass, it being on Black Panther, insane.
And that was big. Congratulations, by
Oh,
the way. It
thank
was
you.
really good.
Insane. Touring around the world with the only all Zambian Zamrock band, insane. So many highlights. So many highlights.
So you consider your music to be Zamrock?
I do. I do. I feel like the influence of Zamrock was in my music before I knew it was in my music. So obviously, you know me for hip hop and rapping, but there's also a lot of other elements to my music: soul music, rock music, reggae, what have you. I feel like recently I've established more of the Zamrock sound and how it crosses into my sound. And even more importantly, knowing that I have a blood relation to one of the pioneers of Zamrock, George Kunda.
Oh,
And knowing that he created, The Witch, he formed their name, and he was there at the time Zamrock was being made. I think a lot of not knowing about that story had to do with my family not taking music as a professional career. It's like you can do music as long as it's a hobby, not a career, because music is not sustainable, which they're not wrong about. You really have to plan and plot when you're in the music industry. But now I do consider my sound to be what I call new Zamrock, which is Zamrock, hip hop, and soul music.
great. This is the Kenny 201 podcast brought to you by Yatu Tea, MTN, Abaleya Carpooling. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Kenny T 101 podcast. We're back again. My guest today is Sampa The Great. Now, Sampa, let's speak about a different side that people rarely speak to you about. You're a producer.
Yes.
Have you produced anything in
Yeah.
terms of your own music and other people's music?
I co-produced a lot of the projects,
Yeah.
including the Great Mixtape. I think, especially with women, it's kind of hard sometimes to say you're a producer just because it's a very male-dominated side of music. But I think along the projects, I've worked with producers who've encouraged me to say I'm a producer more. So I'm in the studio, I'm making sure the instrumentals are the way I like them, I'm making sure I'm choosing each drum loop, and essentially I'm producing. But I don't take on that title. And I think even recently now, there's songs that I'm wholly producing myself in the new project. So let's say we're producing more, especially to women.
Yeah, because you've got a very great sound, and your sound is very unique. And I'm thinking, Is it because maybe also you get involved at that level to say, okay, I want this? Because I think Michael Jackson used to do that. He was
Yeah.
heavily involved in the production. He couldn't play an instrument,
Yeah.
but he would go in and say, I want this to sound like this. I want,
Exactly. I'm very specific, and I know it gets irritating sometimes to the producers because they're like, "Let me produce," but
Yeah.
if you know the sound that you want and you know the material you're gonna put on it, whether you're singing, whether you're rapping, then you lead the way the project sounds. So I'm very involved in my production.
I want us to speak about some of the collaborations you've done with some Zambian artists.
Yeah.
I know about Shefi, but are there any other artists that we can speak about that you've worked
Yeah,
with?
specifically in As Above, So Below, James Sakala on a song called Imposter Syndrome. We worked with Witch for the first time on As Above, So Below, which was pretty big. Gabby, who did the Poetry in Shadows, is also Zambian. And a lot of the production was done by Zambian producers, executive producers. So Mag 44, Solomon Plate, Sami Master, like it was very Zambian heavy.
Yeah.
So when people ask me like, how is it, like, this is a Zambian made project. So yeah.
I'm sure you're very particular about who you work with.
Yeah.
Like, let me in. What criteria do you use for you to work with? Because there's a lot of Zambian artists, and I think almost everybody would like to do something with you. But also, you must be very careful with your brand, and
It's really about seeing someone who expresses themselves uniquely. 76 Drums is definitely someone who I'm looking at. I'm like, I love the way you express music. I definitely want to work with you. So someone who has a unique take at music the way I do is usually the prerequisite, and just seeing if they're a person who can collaborate, because not a lot of artists can collaborate.
Yeah.
So seeing if they're a person who can collaborate is also another prerequisite.
if I was to ask you this question, you can answer or not. It's up to you. But like if I was to give you an opportunity, like maybe on TV, and I ask you to give me like your top 10, I mean maybe top 5 Zambian artists, who would make it on the list?
I think that's a question I can answer later when I have my list together.
Okay.
Not now.
Maybe 1 or 2?
I've already mentioned 76. Definitely would work with him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now, moving on, Sampa, we've seen that you did something with 20 Girls for Girls Make Beats program.
Girls Making Beats program.
Yeah, Girls Making Beats program.
Yeah, headed by Mag 44 and his school called Music Loops. Like I said, it's really hard in the industry for women, specifically the music industry, a very male-dominated industry. And I think getting to a point where I could call myself a producer as a woman and encouraging young girls to be able to produce as well was the incentive to sponsor 20 girls to learn how to produce music, to learn how to sing for themselves, to learn how to record themselves. So really, all they need to make music is themselves. And it's a program I'll definitely continue working with and hopefully growing into something bigger.
That's really great. I mean, it's a good way to give back. But how do you pick these girls? What's the qualification?
The Music Loop School is the one who creates the criteria
Okay.
of who gets chosen, and once they get chosen, I'm more involved in the creative end. So they're the ones who pick the criteria on ground.
So are you part of the team that does the coaching? Who else is involved? The training?
That's Music Loops as well.
Okay, Music
So
Loops,
I'm
okay.
more into bringing resources from outside or contacts from outside. We're looking to get more music producers globally involved. At some point, we wanted to reach out to the Rhapsodies, the Erica Badus, and so on, and just bridge that gap and show them that there are young women here who are interested in producing as well.
The track Never Forget with Chef 187.
Yeah.
Did you write that?
And Mwanje and Tio. Yes, I did. So in studio, Mag 44 showed us the beat, and it was pretty huge. From there, myself and my sister started writing the hook. So we started writing that. She started singing it,
Yeah.
and it started sounding amazing. And we're like, we need a powerful voice on this for the chorus. And Tio Nason's name popped up. He came into the studio
He's got a
and
powerful voice.
basically belted out the most amazing chorus. And then after that, it was like, can we get a rap feature on this? And everyone was like, let's get Chef.
That wasn't the first time you were working with Tio, was it?
Um, I think no, we did a live performance together earlier, but we didn't release the song in that live performance. So I think this was our first like official song that we released together. Yeah.
So now, when we were speaking, you spoke about Angelique Kidjo maybe once or twice. Where did you meet, and
Oh my gosh.
how did this
How
happen?
did we? Oh, so we did a NPR Tiny Desk, but the at-home version because it was COVID at the time, so we
Yeah.
couldn't fly anyway. So we did it in Zambia, and I think it was Black History Month. So we really went all out. We watched Tenge design dresses, and we did our hair very Afrocentric and our makeup. And when we released the video, I remember getting a DM from Angelique Kidjo and being like, "This is crazy," and just her loving the NPR Tiny Desk and wanting to work with each other. And I think I was recording As Above, So Below at the time. So she sent me a song, and I sent her the song from my album, and we kind of waited to see who would budge first. And we both liked each other's songs, so we did a verse on each other's songs. Yeah, it was pretty huge.
So for someone that wants to be like you, especially a young girl out there, really, what are they supposed to do to get to the levels you reach? Because yours is a very unique story, like I said.
It-
Usually you blow up from your country and then you go out.
Yeah. I wouldn't say there's a blueprint to this because even I, even I know this is divine. It's different elements of life. It's different, moments, different people meeting, different preparations. There isn't one fine blueprint to being who I am, but definitely into being an artist and catering more to whoever that person is out there. A strong belief in yourself and artistry is one, especially when people are not clapping for you in the beginning. You have to learn how to clap for yourself.
Absolutely.
When people don't get the vision or they don't get what you're doing, you have to learn to be okay with that. Be okay with people not supporting it or loving it, because at the end of the day, it's your vision. But you also have to have a strong community around you. So a music community who can support you, who can help you when you don't believe in yourself. Even at times with my music community who can sponsor you. Who are those people who are buying the CDs regardless? Those are my friends.
Yeah.
Who are coming to the shows and in the front, those are my friends usually before anyone else catches on. So having a strong music community is definitely another one. And then growing a team around you. So a good manager who's learning the business with you, a good booking agent who gets you at the right shows, good PR, publishing, slowly getting to that place. But I think music education is a huge thing that we need in our country as well. So even music loops outside of the girls making beats, just learning more about the music industry through music education programs is really gonna help a lot.
Sampa, I see that a lot of concerts that take place in Osaka. I mean, a great artist like yourself, you're not found at almost all of them. Is it a case of them not being able to afford you, or is you being selective in terms of where you want to be? I don't know.
I think it's, our infrastructure is still growing. A lot to do with sound. It's more so to do with that versus anything. I would love to play more shows. I am doing more initiatives now. I just did the Sister Festival, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Thrift Market is also doing some amazing stuff that, I'd love to make a special appearance at. But it's more so to do with the infrastructure on ground. There's still a lot that can be done to cater for a band like mine with a sound like mine, and it's really down to that.
Do you have a rate for a local rate and an international rate, or do you sort of like have a standard?
I have a
We're not
standard
we're not, we're not
rate.
getting into figures here, but just to
I have
get
a
an
s-
understanding.
yeah, I have a standard rate, but obviously, depending on where I am and
Yeah.
who I am with, that could change. But there's a standard rate.
Okay. The presidential honor, can we speak about that? Presidential
Insignia.
insignia of recognition 2023.
Crazy. It's mad. I mean, to be recognized on a national level
Yeah.
is crazy, especially for music, which you don't expect to be recognized for.
Yeah.
I think for me it was an honor, but I think it showed the importance of music. which is even more important than anything. Just showing young Zambian kids that music can be just as important as anything else, and it can do something globally. To me, was an honor to be a part of.
You did you opened for Lorraine Hill
Quite a number
one
of
of the
times.
quite a number of
And
times.
still,
Do you like have a relationship with her? Are you very good friends?
I wouldn't say I have her main contact. She's up there, but definitely really good relationship. We talk, we laugh. I still act like a little nervous girl around her. Lauryn Hill is a huge inspiration to me, a huge inspiration. So I'll still always have reverence for her. But yeah, I think our last meeting was with my band, and she actually talked about how much she loves Zamrock. She talked about that. So it's a global sound that is reaching. If it could reach her ears, and she'd be excited about that. But she's a mentor who reminds me you could be humble and loving to people who are younger than you and your peers, and don't have to have ego. She's a really good example of that too.
How did you meet her? Someone introduced
The
you?
first one was through my booking agent. So that first support was through my booking agent. And then it continued that way onwards with the different booking agents I have in different regions. And yeah, it's just now a beautiful rapport where I can meet her and laugh with her. So yeah.
I remember when we're doing some research on you, just to get additional information on top of what we already know. Your parents watched you perform at the one of the Stanbic music festivals.
Yep. The first time them fully seeing me perform.
That was the first
That
time?
was the first time.
Were you nervous before going?
I just
knowing your parents are in the audience.
I knew there gonna be some bits in the show that we're gonna get some reactions.
Yeah.
There's certain rapping bits that have some words that are not fine words, or certain dances that my dad was like, ha ha ha. But I was excited for them to see what I do. In the beginning, it was a very, I don't know about this thing you're choosing to do, or I don't really quite support it. Once it grew to a place where they knew I could sustain myself off it, the support came in more. And then it got to a place where they're really proud. So it was beautiful to see my parents in the audience. It was a full circle moment for me. I'm glad they enjoyed it.
Have they seen you perform after that?
No. They're kind of like, you do your thing. It's okay. It's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
They see behind the scenes that it's a lot of work. A lot of work goes into a show. So they just appreciate it from the audience side.
So you did a tour with Billie Eilish.
Yeah. Those were arenas.
How was it?
I was like, this is what you guys are doing? Arenas? It was really beautiful. She has really good audience, like a really open audience for music that is different. Because Billie isn't rap. We're very rap, Afro-centered with our music. She does, the singing and the light and, the princess stuff. But her audience was really welcoming to us. Those stages were huge. And I think it was really inspiring for me and my band to be in. I don't know how many people were in those audiences. They were huge. Yeah. And it's just to be able to have that opportunity and aspire to be in those stages for ourselves was pretty huge. That was a really good tour. That was a really good tour.
So you got nominated at the BET Awards alongside other African giants. Okay. Which song or which project do you think played a role in getting this
I don't
nomination?
even remember which. I don't even remember which song that was for.
Yeah.
I have no recollection of what song that was for. But with any of the awards, for me, I'm just glad that the music is getting global recognition, to be honest. For Grammy nominations, the thing about me is, though, I release music for some reason the end of the year. And obviously there's an eligibility thing when it comes to dates. Yeah. So I'm not really focused on releasing a project to make sure it's eligible for the Grammys. Yeah. But they have submitted, I think they submitted the return for Grammy nominations. I think we missed it for As Above, So Below, but we did something for the deluxe. And then hopefully the next project, we'll submit again.
The single Can't Hold Us,
yes,
featuring Mwanje.
Yes.
Anything exciting in this single?
I mean,
What's the inspiration of it?
the inspiration of Can Hold Us is basically going through 2 to 3 years of silence. I haven't released any music, change in management team, change in the music industry, and still be able to come back and say, I'm still doing music, I'm still doing it at my best. And no one can stop us. So Can Hold Us. Like, you can't stop us from doing what we know we're good at. It was featured in EFC, FIFA.
FIFA, yeah.
So it's already in FIFA, which is pretty amazing. And I think the exclusive there is they're going to have the team, and the team wearing shirts that are the Zambian team wearing shirts that align with New Zamrock on the back of their shirts. So I think that's what's gonna happen, which is pretty cool. But just the fact that it's getting attention and was on DJ AG as well is pretty cool. But yeah, that's what's
Interesting.
special about it.
Congratulations. You're doing big things, and I think it would be nice if some artists could sort of like sit down with you and maybe pick up on a thing or two. Obviously, you could learn something from them. They could learn something from you. But do you have these sit downs? Do you have local artists coming and saying, "How can we do it?"
Talks.
Yeah.
They're just not on radio.
Yeah.
They're not on radio or TV, but we do have talks where we're sitting and we're talking about our experiences and how to make things better. There are definitely information packets being sent around via WhatsApp or emails, just showing people these are the publishers that you can go for. This is the step-by-step guide of what you can get. And maybe we should make that more public. But we are having conversations as artists, between artists. That's definitely happening.
No, that's great, because I mean, if those conversations were not happening, then I'd sort of like be worried. So, are you living in Zambia now?
Now, I'm such a global citizen. I think the work doesn't have any artist staying in one place for a long time.
Yeah.
I think 2019 to 2023 was definitely just Zambia based. 2024, 2025, London has come into the picture a lot. My management is also in London, so a lot of it will be back and forth. So we're looking more so at a London thing.
I hear you in the studio with 76 drums quite very recently.
Yeah.
Is it anything we can speak about?
Yeah. There's definitely some stuff that was made that is pretty cool. And I'm looking to finish that off. I mean, I was finishing the visuals for my album, so I didn't really have time. Now there's a bit more time to finish off that music that was made in studio, so look out.
I want us to speak about the charity work that you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm told you're also working with SOS.
There was a show that a lot of the donations went to SOS children in Botswana and I think Zambia at that time. Obviously, home has been a huge thing for me because there's never been one place that I've been solely based in.
Yeah.
And so just the notions of home and what that means to me, but also other people who don't have a home is something that is close to my heart, and just children in general. But also mental health has been a huge thing for me, especially musicians. And in particular, African musicians who were based in Australia when I was based in Australia. Just because our troubles didn't just stop at music troubles, it also stopped at race troubles. So unlike our peers who were white, we were facing racism and music, industry woes. So it was really important for me to provide therapy for my peers and younger artists who were coming up. So we did a program where we partnered with Polar Psychology, a psychological practice in Melbourne, and we just provided free therapy for African artists, just as a way to say your mental health is also as important as anything else. I know we're trying to do music, we're trying to, get the bag and so on and so forth, but mental health is just as important. Yeah.
Great. Is there any other projects you're working
Initiatives.
on? In any initiatives?
More so, we're focusing on young women. So we're going to go into wellness. I think a lot of taking care of your bodies, but also wellness in terms of, I haven't seen a lot of bathhouses, for example. Just safe spaces where we can take care of ourselves as women, but in community is a huge initiative that I want to get behind and do a lot of that work in Africa. So we're talking to Lupita Nyong'o, who is doing some of that work in America and in the States, and just wanting to make that more of an African thing as well. Is something that I'm trying to push.
Sampa, from the musical side, from a musical point of view, 2025 and beyond, what are we expecting?
You're expecting a new album for sure.
Yeah.
You were expecting music in movies, maybe Sampa in movies. Visual art is pretty huge for me. I'll be touring as well. There's probably something special between me and Witch that's going to happen the end of the year.
Yeah.
I can't stress enough on the importance of giving reverence to our legends while they're still here. Recently, when I went to Nigeria, I saw a Fela Kuti
Fela Kuti.
exhibit, and they've made a whole exhibition out of Fela Kuti. And I'm there just wondering, where is that space for our legends in Zambia? Like, where are we honoring them? Because I know we know Zamrock is big, but I don't think we know how huge it is. And unfortunately, some of the Zamrock music is not even owned by us. So we're not making the most money out of Zamrock itself. So changing that narrative and bringing that back to it being Zambian owned, because it was a genre that was created in Zambia. A lot of people are sampling it. A lot of people are adding it onto their music who are non-Zambians. So getting a hold of that narrative is pretty important for me to do. And I think we're definitely going to achieve that in 2026.
Have you collaborated with Larry Maluma by any chance?
No, but
he does this Zamrock, and I was watching this documentary about him on CNN. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So Mr. Maluma was actually one of the first people in Melbourne who used to come to my shows. This before I knew he was. So I know of him. We've met. I've worked with his daughter actually. So
great.
yeah, we have communications together. I think which took a more central role in my music because of my Uncle George's connection to Witch. Him founding them, him naming them, was more of a connection, through family. So that's why they've taken sort of that center stage.
Great. Sampa, what we do on the show, as we wind up, each guest we have sort of like leaves a question for the next guest. So there's a question for you from Ebo Chungu. And then we'll give you an opportunity to ask a question to the next guest. So we write the questions, just pick a number,
right,
and then there's a question attached to it. So the question for you is, what's a moment in your life that's completely changed how you see the world today?
Ooh. Dang, there's so many moments that has completely changed the way I see the world today.
You see something, you go through something, and you're like, wow, this is...
So much context to that. It could be anything. I guess the most recent one is just the discovery of Uncle George. I think had I known about him earlier, I probably wouldn't have been Sampa the Great. Had I known Zamrock was part of my family, that probably would have taken a different turn musically. Maybe I wouldn't have even gone to Australia. But the fact that I went through all that journey to come back and meet him and then take on the mantle of Zamrock, to me just shows that things are actually divinely timed. So it's changed the way I perceive how I live through life, that there are things that are planned out by above before me. So it's less stress for me to move through life knowing that it's not all on me. I guess that would be the most recent thing.
Great. I've got 3 questions. Got question 1, 2, and 3. Which number are you picking? And that's the question you're going to leave for the next guest. But I'll read it out so that you hear it.
Okay, 3.
3. So question 3 reads, what lesson did you have to learn the hard way? Okay. So that's for the next guest.
Wow.
From Sampa the Great. Now, Sampa, before you leave, my DOP George is a big fan As you can see, what is displayed here
That's
came from his personal collection. And he's got one that he wants you to personally sign for him. Is there something you can do?
100%.
Okay. Can we bring it on? Where is it?
Person the B9.
But now let mark him. Okay.
You know, the person who has most of my vinyls is my family, so I don't even have my own vinyls.
Is
You
it?
guys have- yeah, you have more vinyls than me.
Wow. It's not even open, huh?
That's why I was like, do you really want to open
It's a
that?
collector's item.
Lupali Chansa.
Okay, help me out. Where? Will it be enough? Not here. Yes. So you also help me out with spelling?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Sampa, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Busy. I was very excited when my team told me, you're going to take time off your busy schedule, come and sit with us and have a conversation.
Yeah,
Thank you
for
so
sure.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing my story. Thank you for
We
what
appreciate
you
it. This has been the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. We'd like to remind you to like, share, and subscribe to the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. We'd like to thank our guest, Sampa The Great. My name is Kenny T. Back again next week, same place, same space.